on AWS, we are the cloud computing arm for Amazon. Okay, so basically what we do is we have created several technology or building blocks that will help you to create or to innovate on behalf of your customers also in this world, in this healthcare world. Probably you know us around infrastructure services. You know that we do compute, storage, databases, or networking. But the important thing is not about having this different stack of services, it's about the depth and breadth of the services AWS can provide you to innovate faster. It's not about having compute, but it's having, hey, I've got virtual machines, you've got containers, you can do serverless containers, you can use Kubernetes, but also you can use our Elastic Container Service, or you can use function as a service with Lambda, or whatever you need. The thing is, you can have, with AWS, you can have a really good breadth of services, but also a depth in functionality in each service that will allow you to innovate faster. For example, and then we will talk later around compliance. Most of our services you can enable cipher or encryption just with one click. So this allows you to easily be compliant with GDPR around encryption, just with one part of the GDPR. So we have innovated on your side, so you don't need to make that on your own. But it's not about only infrastructure, but also around innovations around other services that we are seeing in healthcare. Guy has told us this morning around machine learning. We are seeing a lot of investment, a lot of startups working with machine learning. We later will talk around some of them, but also we are doing some innovations that allow you to make different things faster. For example, we have created around our image recognition services, Amazon Recognition, we have added a functionality to detect face masks for people just being captured by a video or an image only. So you can just include with a call to an API a face mask detection to any of your customers. Also, you can build any analytics project you want to do based on all our services, or in healthcare also we are seeing a lot of IoT projects around remote caring, around a hospital, a smart hospital. So this is also a way we can help you innovate with our services. In addition to this, it's important that we have millions of active customers right now. We will see later why this is important for you as a startup. And also, it's important to know our global infrastructure. We are operating right now 24 regions, and we have another 3 planned. One of those 3 is in Spain. And we have 77 availability zones, how we split our regions with more than 3 data centers each around the globe. We also see later on why this is important for you. And we are serving 245 countries with this infrastructure. Around compliance, it's important to know that we virtually comply with every regulation agency. So whatever you build on AWS, you can make it compliant, or you can use our services, our infrastructure to easily make your application compliant to your customers. And I remember one thing that Guy just told this morning is that sorry, there's a mic open door. Let me just here we are. Right now, thank you. So one thing that Guy just told this morning around compliance is when you start creating your startup, and I think this is really, really smart thing, start thinking on being compliant internationally. So don't think only on GDPR, but think also in HIPAA, or think also in ENS in Spain in this case, or C5 in Germany. So whenever you start your international expansion, you have all that base work already done. And I think this is an important thing we can help you on. Regarding healthcare security and compliance, it's good to know that we have 100+ services compliant with HIPAA, more than 60 services compliant with high trust. We are GDPR compliant, as I mentioned before, and in Spain specifically, we are ENS high compliance in most of our services. Around healthcare and why AWS for healthcare, we have talked about our breadth and depth in our services, but it's not only have this breadth and depth in services, but also has that capability on serving our customers and thinking our customers. So that's why 7+ years ago, Amazon decided to create a technology practice around healthcare and life science. We have, as a cloud provider, we have more than 14 years of experience. We have more than 7 years of this technology practice already created in AWS, and an average of 17 plus years of experience in our healthcare leaders that are part of this technology practice. This means that we have chief digital officer, physician, nurses, pharmacologists, biochemists, bioinformatics, and we have this type of profiles because it's important for us to understand what our customer needs and what our partners like you or startups like you need also to help you create the product your customer also needs. And as I mentioned before, also, we are a customer-obsessed company, and when you talk about healthcare, our customers are the patients, are every one of us that one or can be ill in any time. So we work with these 5 different partners or customers around patients. We work with providers, with hospitals, we work with government. We also work with payers and non-profit organizations. But the most important one, or the most important thing, is working with vendors. We know the other ones are buyers and not builders. It's really, really complex to find a hospital or to find a government that is building an EMR on their own, or is building a colon cancer diagnostic solution on their own. They always buy that solution from a vendor. Okay, and what we are seeing here is that ISV, startups, and medical devices manufacturers are getting a lot of business because of this. So these are some examples that we work with. But if you can see, we've got a huge industry customers working with us like Cerner, Philips, or G Healthcare. But the most important thing is that we have a bunch of startups that are really, really focused on precision medicine, on telemedicine, on medical imaging, on voice interoperability, that are working with us to provide those payers and those providers with the ability or the features they need to make better their job. We are also seeing some startups that are creating or are disrupting the payer business or the provider business. We are seeing remote providing through telemedicine, for example, or we are seeing new payers entering the provider space through some startups like this. Some examples from our customers, for example, this is Axel 3D. Axel 3D is a United Kingdom startup. They basically do 3D printing after analyzing 2D CT scans. And what we have heard from their customers, from the doctors using it, is that when they get the 3D print model, they 50% of the doctors analyzing this model decided to change the way they will make a surgery. So they completely change their perception on how we are going to do the surgery, and 45% of the rest ones decided to do it or change slightly the way they're going to do the surgery, just because they know where the ill is or the disease is, so they can act fast. So 95% of the doctors that are using this type of technology are reducing the time they are spending on surgery, and this makes benefits, operational benefits for the hospital, but also makes better recovery time for the patient that is on the surgery. Another example of startups working with us is Babylon. I don't know if you know Babylon. Babylon, basically, Dr. Ali Parsa is their CEO. Basically, what he thought is that there are a lot of people, almost 50% of the worldwide population, that doesn't have access to healthcare or easy access to healthcare. So basically, they create an application that helps you on providing a first approach of what's happening to you or how you are feeling. So what they are getting is understanding your EMR history, so understanding what has happened to you in the past, understanding what interactions you have had with the application, and also what medicines are you taking. They are able to provide a first view on what problem you can have. And this is also a great example. Probably it's just, hey, you can think, no, this is an easy thing. But what about, or in Spain, we have really good access to healthcare practitioners. But the thing is, when you are in a village, in a remote village, and you have to drive 2 hours to get that access, or if you are in the third world and you don't have access to healthcare, this is where this technology can make the difference. Okay, so that was the first part. talking about why AWS and why AWS for healthcare startups. The second one is once you have built your startup, how you can make it more profitable, how you can grow. Once you have the first product, how you can grow, and how can AWS help you grow. So this is easy. This you don't need an MBA for this. Basically, it's hey, there are two ways of being more profitable. The first one is sell more, and the second one is spend less. So this is the difficult thing is how we can help you to sell more and how we can help you to spend less, and that's the important thing for today. So if we dive deep on the sell more part, this is a chart where basically you are selling your core service or your core application to an existing customer. This is what you do. So to start selling more, you can either add additional functionality to your application and sell it to the existing customers. Where can we help here? We can help here around innovation we have talked before. We have more than 175 services that you can use to innovate faster and to make that functionality available to your existing customers. Okay. Another way of growing and selling more is, hey, let's sell our core application or our application to new customers. And here we can help you in three ways. The first way is the global presence. We have talked about our presence globally with 77 availability zones in 24 regions. That means that you can just start delivering your business in another region in a weekend. We have seen this before. We have seen Netflix, for example, become global in a weekend. And you can do it thanks to our infrastructure that we have already built. The second thing we can help you here is around marketplace. We have millions of active customers, and I told you before that that's important for you. This is because they have access to our services, but they also have access to AWS Marketplace. And this is important because you can put just your application, your startup can put the product on AWS Marketplace, and instantly all those millions of active customers have the ability to buy it and to start using it. Okay. And this is really important to enter new markets, because normally to enter a new market is a difficult thing through legislation. You need to have an office, selling people and so on. So this is a way to speed up how you can access these international markets. And the third part is around the partner network. We will talk later on about this, but we can help you partnering with our other partners to enable them to sell your products over the world. Okay. And obviously, if you are making new functionality to existing customers and you are selling your core application to new customers, you also can do the best thing, that selling additional functionality to new customers and basically grow. This will be the solution for all of the before. And around the spend less optimization, this is something we can also work with you and your journey, just only for if you are starting your startup, if you are on-prem environment, only for moving to AWS Cloud, you can get a 30% improvement on TCO, okay, because of the usage of the cloud. If you use the cloud just versus on-prem, you will benefit in a 30% TCO or get a TCO improvement. If additionally to just moving, you optimize the resources you are using, because normally in other environments you oversize, and some environments you just are paying over the weekends for something you don't use. So if you optimize that infrastructure, you can get up to a 58% improvement in your TCO. And in addition, if you are able to redesign and to improve how you are delivering your service, or how the services architecture, introducing serverless, for example, or new innovations that we can provide to you, you can get up to 75% of improvement in your TCO. And this is just being technical. So technically talking, what you can get. In addition to this, you can also get a commercial optimization. You can buy our services on demand and a pay as you go model, but you can also use a Spot. A Spot is our unused infrastructure. You can buy it cheaper because we are not using it. And also, if you are able to commit to several 1 year or 3 year scenario for some services, you can get a discount from 30% to a 72% on these services on demand price. So basically, the way of making your startup profitable, sell more and spend less, we can help you in both the scenarios here. And just last but not least, we talked before around partners. This is important because we have developed a complete partner ecosystem with different competencies. Two of those competencies are healthcare and life science. Okay, that means that we have certified around the globe that some of our partners are healthcare experts, and they have shown us that they have healthcare customers, that they are able to talk in their language, and they have several certifications around AWS. And also same for life science, we have other like government or NPOs, but probably it's not interesting for today. This means that we can put you in contact and we can help you on delivering your go-to-market internationally using our competency-based partner ecosystem model. And this is something that is really, really important to grow your business internationally. And finally, and Guy will start now with the startup, how we can help you in the startup world. This is something that IDC told us or told, is that partnering will differentiate the leaders from the laggards in the digital economy. And this is something you should be thinking on when building your startup. Partnering with the best cloud provider is important, and that's where we can help, but also partnering with our partners will be also important for you in your growth. So thank you very much, and Guy, the floor is yours.
Here we go, and here we go. Right, hi. Good to see you all here. There's not that many. There's about 4 or 5. So please feel free to come on and ask us questions. Because why not? We have that opportunity. So startups are hugely important to us. In fact, AWS's business grew with a lot of startups, and our sort of team in AWS is exclusively focused on helping you succeed. Can we move to the next slide? So yeah, I kind of presented it this morning. If you were on the line, so we have a global team in startup business development, and all of us are either exited founders or C-levels at startups that have exited or failed. And I myself have had personally, I've been in 2 startups that have failed miserably. I've been in a startup that's gone to very nice exit, another one to an IPO. So we understand what you're going, and that's important. I also have experience at venture capital, as do many of my colleagues. So really, we've set up a team, and this is really part of AWS's, Amazon's philosophy to be customer obsessed, that hopefully can understand your needs. And on top of that, we have a specialized segment, which is people who've come from healthcare and life sciences. So it's not only they've been in startups, they've been in healthcare startups. And so we're here really to be able to provide you with support, both on the technology side and bring the best of Amazon and AWS people technology, but also on the people side, and to we run mentoring sessions, sharing our experience to help you grow. Can we move to the next slide? So just a little bit of what we do and what we don't do. So we don't invest capital, and we don't take a capital position. Importantly, I want to just put 2 caveats in that sort of thing. We do have 2 investment funds that we operate and invest into startups at Amazon, but they are not specifically related to healthcare. We have the Climate Fund, which is obviously not healthcare, but we also have the Alexa Fund. If somebody has noise coming on, so you go on mute unless they have a question. I encourage questions, by the way. I encourage you to even jump in and ask a question, but if you're not asking a question, please go on mute. So we have another fund called the Alexa Fund, and that fund is focused on voice-enabled startups, and they do sometimes invest in healthcare-related startups, but only if they have a voice component. What we do is we invest virtual currency. So we have various credit programs, including the $5,000 you have access today, up to $100,000. It depends on who your venture capital fund that is backing you or what kind of incubator or accelerator program. That program's going through some changes now, but it's still available, and it will always be available, but it's going through a few changes at the moment. But it's an important part knowing that you can start developing your tech stack on AWS and use our credits to really optimize and develop the appropriate infrastructure for your in the appropriate tech stack. We invest time, so we're very happy to do one-on-one or small group sessions around both business subjects or compliance or technology subjects. We share knowledge. We open doors internally and externally. I am constantly connecting startups to venture capital funds, to potential customers, but also inside Amazon. We have a lot of units that are very interested in knowing what healthcare and life science startups are doing and potentially partnering with them. Removing obstacles. Sometimes you might be trying to use the platform. You might not be able to do what you want to do. You can give us a call. We'll try and help. We'll help you internationally. We'll also take what you're doing and inform other AWS teams and try and get them to help you out. And we take a long-term view. If we can go to the next slide. So breaking it down, so we're wiring you into the people, resources, opportunities across Amazon. On the technical side, it's around helping with design optimization, best practices, reference architectures, subject matter experts. So if you're doing something in genomics, I have a whole team of genomics experts. If you're doing something in high performance computing and drug discovery, that too. We have experts in healthcare payer systems. Maybe you want to access that market somewhere in the world. And so we really have a lot of and the sort of technical requirements around those working in those environments. Access to betas and previews, credits, like we said, on the commercial side, and Carlos touched on this. We have co-marketing, co-selling plays, industry insights, funding for proof of concepts, sales referrals, and intros to capital. Next. A whole lot of technical guides. Again, you can access, and I'll put a link to the AWS startup website for healthcare life sciences. I think I can put that in the chat here, and you can access all of these links. Let's go next. Customer stories. Again, these are all going to be on the website for you, but everything around data, interoperability, telemedicine, the works. We've got customer stories that we're very happy to share, and it's great to learn from. Viz AI is in stories. Okay, there's someone called Shlomo who wants to say something. Okay, next. Carlos? Or is that it? So in terms of the people that we can connect you up with, I think this is a good slide because it gives you an idea that Amazon's a big place and AWS is a big place. So we have, in terms of startups investors, we have startup business development. That's people like me, solutions architects, account managers, and marketing who can really help you with. We love to feature startups on our blog that has a very wide reach, as you can imagine. We did a whole program around startups that are helping health systems around the world face and the challenges surrounding the pandemic. We featured a blog about them that had really good views, weekly sort of sessions with healthcare systems to highlight what startups are doing, really trying to create value for our startup partners and help them progress. Different products, so we can connect you up to different business development teams depending on what your product is. So if you're doing something with IoT, we have an IoT team that we connect you with. Genomics, the same thing. We have a genomics team. In public sector, Carlos is from public sector to connecting you to government-based accounts. We have a whole partnership team that can help you onboard to our partner program, and then once you reach a certain level, actually develop and plan co-marketing and co-selling opportunities. And then enterprises, we also have professional services and paid consultants that can help you build as well. Next. In terms of the programs that we have, these are just a few of them. So these are specific startup programs. So AWS Activate is our credit program for startups. If you're actually on another platform at the moment, we'll be able to provide what we call Startup Migrate. It's a special program to help you migrate to AWS with support both in the form of credits and partner support. Well-architected review. It's where we spend a bit of time with your tech team, really making sure that you optimize your architecture so that you've got maximum agility. Jumpstart's another specialized program, especially for AI machine learning startups. Startup mentorship, Connections, which this is a really interesting program, AWS Connections. What we do there is we speak to our enterprise and large organization customers. We understand where they have gaps and where they have use cases that they'd be willing to work with a startup to help fill. And then we get those lists of those use cases to our startup business development team and propose startups and connect those startups to the big enterprises. I can't give out exact numbers, but I can say just myself, I've managed to make, I think, over 100 connections this year as startups to different enterprises based on that program. So it's a really good program. It takes advantage of one of the strengths of the size of the business that we have, in that we do serve global companies and enterprises and startups. And if there's a way to help them connect and do business together, we'd love to be there to help you do that. A global startup program for our partner network. Marketplace, Carlos mentioned that before. If you've got an app that's available, software as a service, you can be listed there, and then those could be promoted around the world. Amazon Launchpad, if you've got something that's more consumer and direct to consumer, Amazon Launchpad is actually a place for startups to sell at Amazon.com. And as I mentioned before, the Alexa Fund and the Alexa Accelerator, if you're a voice-related startup in healthcare as well, we could make a reference to that program. Is that it? Thank you. Yes, that's it. So again, for the people here on the call, if you've, I don't know how many left are you, but I'd love you all to show your screens if you like, and share if you feel comfortable. We can have a chat. I think we've got a bit more time. You can ask anything you like. I'm happy to speak about both content or specific examples of how we could help your startup. Feel free.